Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We're so excited to be here to show the finale. I hope not too many people have watched the finale yet.
No.
Better not have.
No one's been on the internet at all, right?
This is our first time to really get together out in public and show an episode and to share it with everybody. And I just want to say, first of all, we're so grateful that you, the fans, are here to enjoy this. We so appreciate your commitment. I think, you know, when you wrote this script, when you start, we'll talk about it afterwards, but like, did you ever imagine that this would like build into this?
Yeah, I was like, specifically it's gonna be at Paleyfest 2025.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's
At the Kodak Theater.
At the Kodak Theater, yeah. Exactly.
You're clairvoyant.
Yeah, no, it all worked out.
How about you, Adam? What did you think?
This is exactly what I thought would happen, yeah.
Well, I never thought this would happen. This is amazing. And so anyway, we're going to show the episode, and I just wanted to, we wanted to thank some people.
We did.
Dan, do you want to start?
Yeah, well, let's see. I want to thank the great Mark Friedman, who's not here, but he crafted so much of the madness that you're about to see, and the madness of the whole show.
The big Mark Man.
The big Markman.
That's what we call him.
Yeah, he doesn't like it, but we call him that. And then, just in general, I want to thank the greatest writing staff in the history of the planet. I don't know how we got people with such like beautiful hearts and souls and such sadistic minds, but we did, and I'm so grateful. So thank you to those guys.
Start with, first of all, just thanking the people who make the show possible, everybody at Apple TV Plus, and there's a bunch of people, yes, Patricia, Arquette. There's Britt Lauer.
Tramell Tillman. Dichen, Lachman.
Tullock. Chernus. Sarah Bock. Olafsson. Gwendoline, Christie. Not here tonight, John Turturro and the great Christopher Bock. And then there's just our entire creative team, a lot of it.
Unbelievable. It's exciting. And I don't know how many times you will get this many cast members, creators, and people to do the show ever in one room. So, are you ready to meet everyone tonight? Christie. Unbelievable that you cheer for him after you just saw what he did. Unbelievable that you turned and cheered. Please give it up for Michael Chernus. Please put your hands together for Sarah Bock. And I would never forget to announce this man. Please give it up for Zach Chernus. the show, give it up for Dan Erickson. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Scott. And finally, executive producer, the gentleman who directed the finale you just watched, the great Ben Stiller. Should we wait for, is Tramell?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, seriously, he is, I know sometimes Tramell goes off the grid.
Is he currently off the grid right now?
Well, I remember like after at the end of the first season, he had trouble dropping the character. Yeah, well, remember, like, we found him working at, like, an office supply store.
He was in an office supply store. I read about that. He was in an office supply store.
He goes to
Yeah. So sometimes, I don't know, maybe he's just decompressing or something. Maybe he's still in character on him.
So I guess for now, Tramell is not going to join us.
Give me out.
Crazy that he just had a marching band moment. In his hand, you're saying?
Yeah, but
The contrast between milkshake dancing and being so goddamn silky smooth. And then we go to Mark S. I was going to say Adam Scott, but that was Mark S. dancing. So this is honest.
So what are you saying?
Sorry, I should finish my question. My question is, how much thought process went into that? Sincerely. I really want to know. I have a real question that makes you use your brain in the next one, but for this one, it's like, because I've watched that, and people watch it, and they're just going nuts, and then it's just, my man is going for it. So how much thought process went into that, and how many different versions of that did you do? And then I'll ask you a real question where you can talk.
I don't know if there were other versions. I think it was the kind of thing where I didn't really think about it because it was like, no matter what, this is going to be embarrassing. So I'm just gonna wait till we're shooting my single where I have to do it by myself, and I'll come up with something, and it's going to be embarrassing. And I think that, and then whenever I did it, then just laugh. Especially when I started doing like this. The thing where you're stuck and walk that through, and it's so stupid.
A lot of people are calling it the new Elaine dance.
Makes sense.
Adam Scott from Party Down, another question for you. I want to know. Sincerely, I texted and called you the second after I saw the finale. I am blown away by the acting. Everybody is so good in the show. The quality of acting. But I would love to know, because I was so, that's the scene where you're talking to yourself with the camcorder. For me, when it started, I was like, oh, how are you going to keep this interesting for 5 minutes? And you just had me for every word. I could not wait for the other version of you to pick it up. And I know that's incredible acting, incredible writing, incredible directing, incredible editing. But what was it like to... I have a couple technical questions, but I want to know what it was like to do that scene. And my assumption is you probably, when you did one side, you got to use that voice for the other. But who were you running lines with to play with yourself at the beginning? To do lines. To act with yourself.
I think that I made tapes in my apartment, or I made videos in my apartment on my phone, and maybe we used those at first.
Yeah, we were.
Britt, what's your favorite letter? No, okay. Okay, did you answer? What is your favorite letter in the alphabet?
B for Ben.
Thank you very much. Okay. I didn't read. I heard that you take 11-minute naps right after lunch. True, false? We're going to fly through this, okay. Is there anything else that you do in preparation for these characters that you do every time in a precise manner? And I'm asking if there's a different preparation for Helena, Helly, or even for Helena pretending to be Helena.
Actually, Zach's going to answer all of my questions.
Right. Zach Cherry, do you know the answer?
I have a bag of trail mix in my pocket.
This is a good time. Zach Cherry is sponsored by Trail Mix. You want to do your commercial?
For Britt, it's really about, the vibe.
Yeah. Britt, correct?
Yes.
Fantastic. fantastic. All right. We'll keep moving. Here we go. Right.
Sun and sweet trail
Here we go.
mix. Nuts and seeds, roasted and salted. Net weight 1 ounce.
This is crazy. He does the Severance podcast one time. He starts doing commercials anytime he starts talking, right?
I do have something significant to say,
I would hope so.
which is that Zach and I have a podcast about. We actually do. It's about food, and we often, before takes, this relates. We talk about food, and something interesting is you'll notice in season 1 that Heliar likes eggs. Helena doesn't like eggs.
God, that was my next question. And also I was like, fuck you guys. But it was like, it just made me so, I was like, oh my God. If people were to look back at your performance when you were playing Heli, what could people look at now if they went back to see like, oh, you're tipping it off a little bit. Maybe you didn't see it the first watch because you weren't aware of it. But if you watch now, I was doing some cool shit that now, some of that. Don't give that to Zach. Please don't give that to Zach. Eggs. No. Look how big this stack is, Zach.
No, I feel like our viewers are the best detectives in the world because they found all of them.
What's one of the big ones that you kind of did, or the ones that you're proud of?
One that we kind of talked about a lot was the computer, turning on the computer. And we went back and forth. We filmed it where she got the computer turn on button quickly, and then we got one where she had to kind of search for it. And remember, Ben, you were like, is it too much?
Yes, I do remember that. And yeah, and that's one where there was debate about, oh, is that giving it away? And I was like, no, that's like the most amazing acting moment I've ever seen. But at that point, it was sort of like, I think even if people were onto it, that was what was interesting about it too.
Yeah, and it was right kind of before she is exposed anyway, so it was fine.
Right. But I think that whole thing, like people picked up on, for me watching, I was really surprised how quickly people started to question that. But I think it was also a great sort of thing to debate, you know, for audiences.
I think one of the things. Right now is your college spring break and you're missing it to be here with all of us.
Sure.
Are your friends in Cancun or something like that?
They are.
It's always Cancun, I don't know why. It's always Cancun. Okay, that makes sense. You were 15 years old when you got this role. Unbelievable. What was it like for your character to have authority over actors that are twice, 3 times, 12 times your age?
Oh my gosh, they're so cool, and like John Turturro was so tall. And I would stare him down, like, oh my gosh, he's crazy.
Okay. I have one other question that I was thinking about. Maybe you don't know the answer to this, or maybe you do. If not, you can invent it. But what do you think your character's like when she's done with her internship? Because she would probably be in high school, right? Should I shut up? Do you think about that stuff, like before you're doing these scenes? Take me through that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wonder what she would be like if she was just like a normal high school student and she wasn't at Lumen. I think she would probably be like in the band, playing the theremin still.
Yeah.
And then, you know, she'd have friends her age, questionable, maybe she should learn some social skills. But yeah, I think she would have a good time, not at Lumen.
Well, happy spring break. Happy spring break. Thank you. Your standalone episode is such a special episode of television. And the director and the cinematographer.
Yeah, Jessica, are you here?
Give it up for Jessica. How many versions of yourself did you play? Do you have the exact number of how many different innies? How many different innies that you played of yourself?
Well, I guess there was like 5. The Dentist, the Christmas, the Airplane, and Miss Casey, and then Gemma.
So what do you do as an actor before entering those rooms to give each character a different specific, a different feel, so they feel like different characters?
I feel like there's so many fingerprints on all of those innies, like the work that hair and makeup and the production design, like all of that helps, you know, and the circumstances of it and where she's feeling that tension. It's like, I mean, so much of the work is done for you because of the amazing attention to detail that the crew and, you know, the leaders of the show put into the circumstances. And so you just have to walk in there and sort of be. So I can't really take so much credit for it because, you know, even the attention that went into the wigs and the costumes, it was extraordinary.
It's amazing. What was it like for you to flip between finding the love of your life that you've been missing and then switching people and then having the other love of your life behind you? What it was like for Helly, I'm assuming it's Helly, maybe I should shut up, but I think it's Helly. I'll say Helly and then we'll shut up. And then so for that last moment, what it was like for her to see the love that he had for someone else and then him kind of letting it go away. If you guys could talk about that, but like with not a lot of time, that would be great. Because I mean, hurry up,
you know, I guess on the surface it looks like a triangle, but if you know me, I love talking about shapes. And it might be a tetrahedron.
Very nice.
Or a hexagonal prism.
Love it.
And so, to add complexity, maybe in that last moment, Heliar is, you know, it's love at first sight, seeing Gemma across the hall.
Have to take it, I guess. Unbelievable. And then what was it like for you, and then for you, Adam, to play so many different versions of finding and losing love in the span of what to us is minutes, but I'm sure that was a sequence that took minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was hard. It was exhausting. It was right at the end of the shoot, so we were all kind of depleted and tired, which was good for the scene, I guess. But it was heartbreaking because Dichen was really pounding on that door for hours and hours, and it was awful. It was awful to see her there, and what Gemma has come to mean to all of us and everything. It was just heartbreaking. But I think for any Mark at the end of the day, this is someone he doesn't know in that way, and he crosses that threshold, and the life might be over, he doesn't quite know, and he's madly in love with Ellie, so he had to make a choice for a few different reasons.
What do you think your character saw when you see Mark as kind of having to make a decision? What do you think your character is even thinking? Because she has no idea what is going on in that moment. What did you feel banging that door? How are you trying to make sense of something that, to the viewer, we're understanding is so inside of, but for you, that character is having this first moment of understanding?
Yeah, I think initially she's just very confused and then very quickly realizes that, he's probably gone through this procedure when she sees it. I mean, it all has to happen really fast, and then I think ultimately she's just trying to get through to him, like break through that barrier, but sad when she does.
I want to start by saying I would watch a sitcom, multi-camera symbol of both of you guys raising that baby.
Right now.
feminist fault.
It is feminist fault. Okay.
42 episodes, NBC.
Oh, fantastic. That's amazing. Great. I don't know where anymore. I'm going to start with Jen. Oftentimes to me, you feel like the voice of blunt sanity. The person who points the finger, says what she really means, and isn't quick to trust anyone. I'm not an idiot. Great. Okay, so what do you think made your character finally trust Cobell, even though you were against everything she represents for 2 seasons?
I had a very angry cousin in my inbox asking me this very question.
Okay.
I don't think she does trust her. I don't think she trusts her as far as she can flicker. I think she's in a moment of abject desperation. You know when people say that if a parent sees their kid in danger, they could flip a car? I think this is her flip a car moment. I think she's watched Mark in danger. I mean, it's a bit figurative to her in season 1, but it becomes literal. And then I think she watches her kid get kidnapped and then unkidnapped, I suppose. But then when she finds out what she does about Gemma, I think she's just ready for blood. And so
I have a question for both of you, and then Michael, I will from you. How do you think you guys met? How did these... Oh, you can find out on NBC.
It's a funny story.
I can't wait.
It's at a tea party.
They seem so different and unique, and it feels like it works. Do you guys ever talk about that? Like, how did we meet, or why are we a couple, or stuff like that?
No.
And again, you can tell
Two people in private is private. Now, behind closed doors, no, I think we talked about it a lot. I mean, one of the things that kind of drives me crazy is when people say, like, I don't understand Devin and Rick. Like, have you ever been to an airport scene? Ever met a couple in your life? Like, they're weird. Opposites attract, right?
Right? Like a moment in time. I think there was probably a moment where maybe they did try a little harder to keep up appearances. But you know, you get to the point where you fart in front of your partner. That's all. That's it. They're well past that point.
Well, that's a question I had for Michael and Rick. What do you think this character is like when he's... Self-proclaimed dream baby right out of the womb. I heard in an interview that you thought you dream, huh? Good baby, not dream baby. Understood. This is something. So we come from the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. We come from the same improv. I always get a strong. I am always rooting for comedians when they're in dramatic roles to fucking crush it. I get so excited when I see a comedian take a dramatic role and show everybody that we can do this too, and you've done an incredible job of proving that we can do this too. Do you look forward to the dramatic scenes? Are they stressful to you? What do you feel like when you have some? I know you're zone, and I call it math sometimes when you're comedian. You do comedic scenes like math. When you see drama, and it may not be like math to you. What is your feeling?
Yeah, it is a little stressful. I think especially the stuff this season was stuff I haven't really been asked to do before, but the trust that I have in everyone on the show in terms of the scene partners and the trust that Ben and the other directors have put in me made it a lot easier.
I like it a lot. And then that story is so beautiful, the paper ring is so beautiful, and then also the follow-up question to that is how different sexually do you think your inning is to your husband? You can answer that in any way you want. And you can give full-on details. But the first part of the question first.
I'm pretty focused on the last one.
Yeah, of course.
What was the beginning?
The first part of the question was taking through the emotional scene of your innie asking for how to question back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think Innie is so naive that he thinks that's a real possibility that, like, this woman would come and live in a basement with the children. Maybe he's being completely earnest, and I think this is the first time he's been in love, and it's kind of like anything seems possible. So for him, I think in that moment it feels like a real possibility, and then her who has lived in the world, it's so obvious that that's not a possibility, and there's that kind of immediate heartbreak.
My last question is, when you're writing a letter to yourself, you as an actor or you as a person, what did you feel more emotion doing? Writing and doing the VO or receiving the letter? God, these are great fucking questions. No, don't know about it.
In terms of sexually?
If you don't mind. We'll start with the real answer, then you have to give sexual.
I think receiving the letter. I think receiving the letter.
Yes.
For sure. That was
more information about your character than we, the audience, do. Like, do you know stuff that we don't do, or do you have to invent stuff while you're going? Because so little is known about your character. We see it through your actions, but so tell me a little bit about that.
That's a great question.
Fuck,
and by the way, a good question. I think there's stuff that I definitely don't know. There's stuff that I think I know. Of course, I had conversations with Ben and the other directors and with Dan. But in the end, as an actor, you always have to bring a whole person, and especially when you're playing a smaller part. I think just again and again, we had these scenes where I was just being such a but that's also fun.
I have a question. Does it terrify me that I said fight scene and someone's like, fuck yeah! Sure. But for Adam, for Dari, and for Gwendoline, although my most important question will be for you at the end, so I need you to get ready for it, if possible. And we are together as one, and we are ready for it, and it's at the end. Fantastic, but for right now, I need to know what that fight scene was like, because for someone who, I know I'm very skinny and Jewish, but I've done a fight scene or two, and it's like, the thing that blew my mind was the hallways are so small. Like they're not, it's so, to do a fight scene in that small of a space, to me, in my head, I was like, and also this looked like it took days. So I just want to hear about that, if possible, and then at the end, of course.
Well, I think for me, like, basically the first thing we did was I slammed Adam into the wall for real.
Yeah.
And that was a bad day.
On purpose?
No, it was, I fucked up the choreography.
No, it was my fault. Because Dari was swinging me around into the wall, and I was supposed to get my arm up to kind of absorb the shock of hitting the wall, but my arm got caught behind, so I hit it with my head.
No!
And after I and everything, and Ben came over, and I was like, I think I'm okay. And the first thing he said was like, are you okay, everything? And he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be okay. He goes, well, it looked great.
That is in the show, of course. And then, Gwendoline, for you, what is it like for your character to make such a strong turn in that moment? What did that mean for your character and for you? Question, you have to do it again.
I loved the fight scene. I loved it. As I have said, I deliberately chose not to do anything involving any kind of combat after Game of Thrones. And then, unfortunately, from Ben Stiller. And he told me about this fight scene in so Severance, my favorite TV show in the world. So I just said yes. And I found I still have a bloodlust.
It's so funny because then I'm thinking it's Brandon Torres and Mr. Drummond beating up Ben Wyatt, which is so funny. Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec getting his ass kicked by someone from Game of Thrones is maybe his fantasy? By the way, the marching band thing in the beginning, you crushed it. It was amazing. You're incredible. Anyway, my nerdy question as a fan is how
The answer is no.
Say that.
The answer is no.
Okay, of course. How did you tackle Milchick this season as compared to last season? Because this season I feel like he's juggling so many different emotions and responsibilities. So I'm so curious about how your character evolved and how you just tackle him now when he gets so much more shit coming at him.
Well, he's moved up. He's in charge now. It's his school, you know. And what we see is that he's now in this new position of leadership, and we see how it sits on him. And just like most people who have dealt in middle management, you get so much more shit thrown at you, and you know you have to be able to wrangle.
Do you feel that seem like a problem?
It's like nightmare fuel.
Okay. Patricia Arquette. Television, how exciting to watch someone at your level thrive through decades of incredible work. So it's unbelievable. We get to see Cobell's backstory in this season. I was curious when I was watching it, how much of that backstory were you aware of in the first season because you're an executive producer on the show as well. So how much were you aware?
Did you hear that?
And so how much of that were you aware of? And were you, while you're playing your character, did you always kind of know she was a genius?
Well, yes. First of all, I do want to say your questions are really great.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there were things that these guys told me early on that I thought, oh, well, when is this going to come out?
Yeah.
And it took quite a long time to get there. But yeah, there were things that were there. I didn't know some of the things to quite that extent, but from almost the beginning, you were telling me about her growing up in school, the Egans, and how, you know, this town was impacted, and the ether, and her mother, and the breathing tube, and a lot of aspects of it. So it was nice to get there.
Yeah. Are there things, don't say it, are there things that you know about your character that haven't been revealed yet? Please, you don't say it. Are there things that you were told? Again, don't say anything. Please don't say anything. We're just saying, I just want to know yes or no, but not say a word. Like, are there things that you still have that you're like, I know this, but we haven't gotten this yet?
I would, you know, in real life, I try to be very honest.
Well, don't.
But in character, I will lie, cheat, and steal, no matter what. Even if maybe I do know a whole lot.
That's great.
But I would lie to you about it. Don't count on me.
How did
We shall see.
Okay, then I have... What the fuck is happening with the ghost? I have 7 follow-up questions. You don't have to say if you don't want to. What the fuck's what the fuck is happening to the goats? No, you can't.
Everyone's out to be a goat.
Everyone's a goat?
I mean,
Okay. I do have a question though. When you're doing those scenes for a viewer, we are like, what is happening right now? Are you like that as getting the script at that moment? Are you feeling that as well, or are you were given enough information to be like, oh, okay, I know exactly why this is happening. I know exactly what this is about.
no. No. And I found a great freedom in that, actually. As someone that used to demand all of the answers, I found actually a huge liberation in not being given really anything at all. Genuinely, in a wide sense, and it's a great lesson for us all.
So you were a big fan of the show before you did the season?
Obsessed with the show. And I was so angry I wasn't in the show. I read this and I think I terrified him because I said it with such intention. I meant it, and I mean it now. But when I watched season 1, I was my mind was blown by it. I'd wait for my boyfriend to go to work, and then I'd shut the curtains, and I'd watch Severance at 11 a.m. on a Friday, and I'd say to the dogs, you've got to be quiet. I used to make noises into the screen. I don't know if that's deliberate, but anyway. So, and then I'd watch it again because I was obsessed with it. And then I got obsessed with Adam Scott's hair. So, zoom in to see if I can see a wood line or a root line.
I think you just worked your way into their multi-cam sitcom. But as a fan, because we're all fans of the show, what's some of the things that you nerded out with the most when you got to set? You're like, oh my god, I can't believe
Oh, it was pathetic. I was just reduced to the status of a sort of a fool. I was a gibbering wreck. I saw a vending machine and I got terribly overexcited. I really did. And then I couldn't really behave normally in front of, I mean I can't anyway, but I couldn't behave normally in front of really anyone. And sort of spooning over Britt down. Trying not to have jelly legs around Adam Scott. But honestly, it does mean a huge amount to me because a show as original and fresh as this, with this amount of tangible passion and intelligence and real depth of heart behind it, is so rare. And I'm in awe of everyone involved in the show. And it is a dream. Thank you so much.
There are 3,300 fans here right now. Anything you want to say to your fans before?
Thank you to all of you for being here tonight. We'll never forget this. It's amazing.
No, you guys are truly the last step in the creative process, the art and the theories and the discussion that